Foster, tem uma pergunta para você.
Pode perguntar.
Se você tivesse tido uma plataforma de português como a do Cambly, a sua vida teria sido mais fácil?
Muito mais fácil. Eu ainda tenho sonhos sobre isso. Uma plataforma... Não, como que é?
Uma plataforma.
Viu? Gente, eu estou precisando de uma plataforma com fluentes de português a qualquer hora, 24 horas do dia, da minha casa, com flexibilidade. Isso não existe. Mas em inglês...
Não existe.
Existe.
Existe, por isso que a gente está aqui todos os dias no ouvidinho de vocês, falando para vocês fazerem uma aula teste e completamente se apaixonarem pela plataforma do Cambly, que vale muito a pena. Como o Foster já falou, tem professores 24 horas por dia, de todos os lugares do mundo, e todos eles são nativos da língua inglesa. Então, para você fazer essa aula, né, de graça, vá lá no inglês, vá lá no cambly.com ou no aplicativo do Cambly no seu celular e coloque em minutos grátis o nosso código que é Inglês no Cru Podcast.
Yeah, do it. Seriously, no reason not to do it. Talk to native speakers on Cambly, and let's get on with the show. Hello. Hey, beautiful people. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. My name is Foster. I'm an English teacher, and I am here with the best co-host in the world. Hey, Alexia, how are you?
Hey, Foster. I'm doing great. What about you?
I am doing pretty well. Can't complain.
Nice.
Okay, so Alexia, let's dive right into it. Yesterday, we started talking about teachers. What makes a good language teacher? And you specifically talked about a teacher needs to really be able to maintain a conversation. They are good dynamically speaking, and someone that has shared interest with you and they connect with you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so today I want to address another aspect of English classes, of all language classes, and this is something that is like a kind of a hot topic. It's like a sensitive topic for both teachers and for students. So I'm really excited to get your opinion because you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Shoot it.
Did you say shoot it?
Uh-huh.
Mátalo. So in this case, Alexia, you want to say shoot.
Tá.
So if someone is like, hey, I really want to tell you this thing, you can say shoot, which means go ahead, tell me. Shoot it is like to shoot something with the intention of killing it or something.
Well, maybe depending on the topic.
No, I think you will be interested in this topic. So, Alexia, there is this debate about when to correct students. On one hand, I imagine we've all had the teachers that correct every single sentence, and it's like, oh my God, I can't even talk. And on the other extreme, most of us have probably had teachers that just talk and they're not correcting, and at the end of the class, you feel like, oh, I have no idea what to work on. So, what's your perspective on this issue?
I really, really enjoy the way that my, briefly, French teacher used to do. Sebastian, do you remember him?
I do. Sebastian the polyglot.
Yeah. He was kind of awesome doing the corrections. I could never do that because it takes a lot of practice, but he had a spreadsheet with like different meu Deus do céu.
Columns, rows.
Yes, columns. And then he would put like the correct verb and the way that you use it and the phrase that you just said with the correction and how to use it. It was amazing, and he would do it like at the same time that you were speaking. So we would talk. He wouldn't correct me at the time like, hey, Alexa, stop. This is the way that you say it. You know, he would wait for me to finish that topic or the phrase, the thing. And then he would say, okay, let's take a step back and look at what just happened here. And then he would explain to me. So, this is a way that I really enjoy that teachers do to me. What I do with my
Can I
students is
stop you real
that.
quick before?
Oh, meu Deus do céu.
No, just to focus on your experience as a student and then as a teacher. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I also took, I believe, 2 French classes with Sebastian. That's a long story, but he was a fantastic teacher and he was taking real-time notes in a Google spreadsheet. It was very impressive. And that is something that I've incorporated into my own classes. I just use a Google document, but I am taking notes the entire time. And I really do like the approach, depending on the student, but most of the time, let the student talk, take as many notes as you can, and towards the end of the class, explain the important points. Is that more or less your experience?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that is one way to do it. That is an approach I definitely approve of. Tell me about your experience as a teacher.
So, my students, they are all advanced students, almost fluent students. So, I don't need to stop every single time and explain to them why it's like this and not like that. I mean, they get already when I correct them. And what I do is that I have the Zoom chat, right? And then I write there while they are talking, like, okay, you said this thing wrong, and then should be this, or this is the meaning of this word in English. And then at the end of the class, I copy and I send to them by email. But when they are talking to me, they see me writing. And then sometimes they choose to stop and ask me why and why they should say like this and not like that.
Yeah.
When it's like a basic mistake, like, I don't know, trabalhar, right? And they say trabalhar. They already know. I don't have to stop and correct them. And then they see me writing it and they are like, oh, damn it, trabalhar, lhar. And then we practice this. But this is me with like 3 very, very advanced, almost fluent Portuguese students.
Yeah. Sounds like you have some fantastic students.
I do.
Okay, I think that really illustrates the issue very well because this idea of correcting the student, it really exists within the relationship between teacher and student, right? So, for example, you have students that they see you typing and they already have a question and they want to be corrected in the moment. So it's very clear what the relationship should be like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So let's take the example of perhaps some students that are not quite so advanced, because this is an issue that it's not so much of an issue with advanced students, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So let's imagine you are meeting a student for the first time and they speak relatively well, let's say like an intermediate level, but they definitely need a good bit of help. They need you to guide them. What do you think is the right balance in that kind of situation?
I think that I need to make them confident about what they are saying and like they are just beginning to really communicate, right? If they are intermediate, they are just beginning and they need to feel confident with that. So, what I would do, I would let them talk enough. And then when the topic ends or when they are like, okay, how did I do? Or what do you think about this? How do I say that? And then I would take time to explain to this student why it should be like this and not like that, and what they need to improve. And the what they need to improve, I think for me, it's all I take the last 10 minutes of the class, 15 minutes, depending on the student, and I explain to him or her what they need to do for next class, like what they need to practice.
Right. Just kind of wrapping up the session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is a fantastic approach. I remember when I first started teaching language classes and I really had no idea what I was doing. In the first class, I would always ask a student, like, are you comfortable with me correcting you? Would you like for me to wait until the end of the class?
Yeah, but I mean, this should be a basic question, right? I mean, I think that it has to be both ways. First, you need to ask them if they are okay, and second, explain how you work, because they are going to pay for a service that they need to trust and be able to understand how you work. If they don't agree, that's fine, no problem at all. They are going to find another teacher. But you need to be comfortable to work with this person.
Yeah, but I also think there's a huge responsibility on the teacher, and this is one of the qualities of an exceptional teacher. For example, nowadays I never ask someone, hey, is it okay if I correct you? But the idea that you were talking about of really helping your student be and feel confident with their English, that is super, super important. So immediately in the first class, when I'm talking to the student, I'm getting to know them. I'm also analyzing, okay, are they confident with what they're doing? What do they need help with? Is this going to be the kind of situation where if I'm giving a lot of corrections, is that going to hurt their confidence or is that going to help their confidence? And
Yeah.
as teachers, we have to do that like in real time, super fast.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing to do, but good teachers can do it.
It's a hard thing. And one of the things that I am doing right now with one of my students, for example, is that he's been with me for 2 years now. So we talked about everything you can imagine. But just right now, he started therapy because of me, because I told him, like, okay, let's think about this. And then he just started therapy. And one thing that he's not used to talk about is relationships, like family relationship, romantic relationships, and etc. It's not part of his vocabulary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because I know that, I am trying to make him like talk more about his family, their relationship, how it was when he was a kid, and like nothing very specific, but he can understand that, okay, I can talk about this as well, because he thinks that he can't. So it's very important for you as well, when you already know your student that deep, that you can always like take certain topics and work a lot with the student, because I mean, they are there and they are trusting you to do that.
Alexia, you have given me so many good ideas. Okay, for the next episode, remember this. First, the idea of scaffolding. We'll explain what that is in the next episode. Secondly, the idea of teachers as therapists.
Oh my goodness.
That is
yes.
a big one that we can talk a lot about. And then I also have some comments about knowing when to correct. But I think we should leave our listeners in suspense so they will listen to us talk more about this tomorrow.
Perfect.
Cool. I enjoyed it, Alexia. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye. Muito obrigada por ter escutado mais um episódio aqui do Inglês de Necrorádio. É muito bom ter você juntinho assim de nós. Faz muito, muito carinho no nosso coração, digamos assim. Então você que está interessado em saber mais sobre os nossos produtos e saber mais sobre a gente, o que a gente oferece para vocês em relação a estudo, a challenge, a curso, vá lá no inglesdenecro.com e você pode ver mais sobre as worksheets, por exemplo.
Yeah. If you want to really improve your English, if you want to learn more about the ways you can do that and just connect with us on a deeper level, go to inglesdenecro.com. And as always, keep up the good fight.
And lose well.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.